Hello and welcome to what is this, episode 6 of the Headlines podcast, or is this episode 7? I don't even know. This is Ludwig Longdong von Kinkmeister here. I'm here from Berlin. I was invited by the host Eden to come to some parties here in New York. We're going to New York City. This is going to be on Halloween. Did you see this episode? So yeah, I'm here. It's my first time in America. Things are a little different than I expected. When I first heard about America, I heard, New York City will be a fun place. It's very kinky. There's a very good times, lots of the parties. But right when I got off the plane, the border patrol was quite mean. The customs agent, he was like, what is this weird outfit you're wearing? This seems suspect. And I'm like, suspect of what? Suspect of... He says, seems like you're carrying some type of package. And I was like, well, obviously I have some type, you can see my package from over there. And then they asked to go through my phone, which I thought was very strange because all I have is, lots of very freaky photos of, we'll keep that between me and the border agents. But they looked and they saw it and were looking for what they were saying was memes. I'm not quite sure what that means, but they were looking for some types of jokes or something like that. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm very, very right wing. I'm very conservative. You do not have to worry about me. I'm here for just the sucking and the fucking and the parties and there's no problem. So finally they let me in. They were looking for me to be smoking weed or something like that. And I said, this is crazy. Weed is quite legal in Germany, but I heard it is not legal here, and what could be the problem? So that was a little strange, but other than that, things have been good. The headlines have been a little weird, Eden shared some of these things for me and I think I will let him do, most of the rest of the podcast, but I just wanted to come here and say, I hope you guys have a very happy Halloween and look for Ludwig Longdong von Kinkmeister out there on the dance floor, my very kinky people. So that was fun. Needed to get that German out a little bit, but I'll be hitting that all fucking day. Try not to break character tomorrow for Halloween. So, today, ideally for Halloween, hopefully I'll be dropping this tomorrow. But yeah, let's let's get into these headlines a little bit. Ludwig, I'm happy he's here, obviously. Fucking, I feel like right now is a weird time just for customs in general. So it's, I don't know. Happy he made it through with no real issues. All right. So I'm going to start with the come up again this time. So this one's like a kind of like basic one for me. Again, it's one that I feel passionate about. I think if things get a little too dangerous in the U.S., not dangerous, but it gets a little hard living here sometimes. I was reading about how there's all these layoffs going down across the country right now, and people are kind of struggling, and I was reading about how a lot of people are actually now going to other countries for work. So one of these come ups is teaching Japanese or teaching, Chinese, or teaching to the Japanese, teaching to the Chinese, English, grade 4 English, where you just have to talk to them in English. Actually, this week I interviewed and then tried out for my first, it is a digital one, a digital course, but they videoed me, within the first week, and they're basically just you're fired. And I was like, what the fuck? What? I was like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, Paris, you know, what's happening? And they're like, that, like, you keep doing that. And I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, you're literally hired to help teach them to speak a better English, like to help better with the pronunciation. And I was like, I helping, like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, you're doing it right now. And I'm like, oh, fuck, no. So they said, yeah, you're fired. And, you know, you can't. I was like, please, I stop it now. And they're like, you're lit. So that might be a come up for somebody. You know, it wasn't my fault. It was, you know, everybody in the class. This is how they pronounce things. I can't kind of help. I'm, you know, kind of a sponge in accents in that way. So yeah, I got fired, but this could be a good come up for somebody who maybe has, like, I don't know, more of a, you know, more patient, not patient, but you know what I'm saying? Like a better, more deft mind than mine or something like that. So, also too, this could be another come up. If you have any medical bills, I just read this family, they had $150,000 medical bill. No, $195,000 medical bill. And they used this Claude AI. First, they had to kind of like wrangle some data points from their provider, which, to my understanding, proved to be a little bit difficult. But they did get them like line item things that were billing codes, and they're able to put it in this AI. And they got the bill reduced to $33,000 from this $195,000. So I think you could probably make some type of like there's a private business here probably for just using AI and like maybe even just doing it remotely to, like, you know, go through, like, once you learn this process, go through and just help old people and just people that are less tech savvy on auditing their medical bills, which, like, to, you know, like, this whole thing was heavily padded. There was a lot of just random billing codes that correlated to random departments, and there was, in the end, obviously 160 grand worth of corrections that needed to be made. And that just begs the question, like, how often is this happening? I'm assuming quite a bit. And as you know, right now we're in this holdout with the House and government being shut down because they can't agree on this budgeting bill. And a big part of this is protections for health insurance. So if you're going to be going without health insurance, or, you know, if you do already have a medical bill, or you have a loved one that does, maybe it's a come up to use AI tools to audit this shit and see where you're at. See if these motherfuckers are scamming on you, because you know, what do they say? It's not the first time that this happened. It's just the first time you got caught. So, you know, that's something to consider. All right, so for Run Amuck, I have these AI videos. Like, I was just reading this article about how it's getting old people, like, they're the most vulnerable, which makes sense. I mean, I don't know, grandma maybe shouldn't be on TikTok, but I saw this, I mean, she's going to do what she's going to do though, but I saw this video that actually, so they used a thumbnail for this particular video, and I had seen this thumbnail before, and it was like of a shrimp that had, like, a bunch of shrimp that had, like, made the face of Jesus in the ocean and was swimming around. And I'm just thinking about, you know, if Gam Gam comes to me and she's just like, look at this, like, look at these shrimp, they've made it like it's Jesus, you know, I'd be like, okay, Gam Gam, like, totally, you know, who am I to dispel this at this point? You know, like, I'd be like, yeah, like, again, I've converted to right wing. I'm Christian now, so I totally see like, you know, I get that this is AI, but I could see how, you know, faith could bring these shrimp together or whatever in this way. And some of these Sora videos, like, they're fucking crazy. Like, I just got on, like, I've just started to use TikTok to advertise the podcast a little bit, and so spent a few minutes on there, and, like, my algorithm, whatever the algorithm is for the For You, has no idea anything about anything that I find interesting. So it's you know, it's been a weird kind of you know, little bit of time doing some research on TikTok, and there's a crazy amount of these AI like Sora videos. So I saw one of the first things, and I showed it to my girlfriend, and I was like, yo, check this shit out. It's like a bobcat like jumping through the fucking window, and I was like, oh my, like this, like into this dude's apartment, and I was like, holy shit. And I like right away I fucking Googled this, and I was like, oh no, there's like no article. I mean, there's some old articles about bobcats jumping into like some apartments and you know, whatever, but they didn't have any like, you know, HD videos of this. And then I scroll next one, and I see like all these raccoons that are on like a roller coaster. And I was like, what the and then they like launched the roller coaster, and I was like, yo, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, this is all, hold on. And I start to see that there's this Sora tag, and I'm like learning what this is actually like right now. And it's crazy. It's like, it's basically, I don't know quite like what the prompting, like how that works. I mean, apparently you need a code to use this program. Which, I mean, it makes sense because like this could just get out of hand. It's like the level of realness that these clips are creating. It's we're just not far from what I feel is the reality. Like when I first started to see AI kind of like take the shape that it is now, which is like, you know, in a few years when somebody's like, oh yeah, like Conor McGregor, like, you know, choked me out in the club, or like, you know, like the baby, like, you know, pistol whipped me or whatever it is. Like, they're just going to be like, yeah, no, that was AI. Like all the footage, no, that's just fake. And I mean, on like big things, like, you know, like something where like, you know, it's like Diddy chasing Cassie down the hotel room hallway, and like, you know, that gets brought in front of court. You know, that's like, that's obviously still going to be like verified by like AI specialists or whatever, forensic camera specialists. But there's just going to be all this whole other amount of shit where it's like, it could be like Justin Bieber, like shit faced in the club and, you know, running around like, you know, he has this old clip where he's like pissing in a bucket in the back of the, like a nightclub when he's like 16, and just like runs past Bill Clinton and like portrait, and he's just like, fuck Bill Clinton, and spits on it. And he had to apologize for that shit. And nowadays you could just be like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like that obviously is like me, Justin Bieber, pissing in the back of a nightclub. First of all, I'm 16, sir. Like I can't even drink. Like this is obviously a faked video. So yeah, I ain't apologizing to anybody. Like Bill Clinton's cool. Like we're cool. Like we're, you know, we're homies. Like you know, I ain't stressing it. So yeah, these AI videos have pretty much run amok. Like there's no way you're not having, no matter what, like some percentage of your feed is being consumed by this AI shit. Like it's an inescapable, just, you know, new form of content. And, you know, these companies, basically every company is diving headlong into this AI shit. So, yeah, just get ready for this to be the consistent new reality. Oh, also, this 6'7" shit is run amok. Like, I only learned about this from South Park. All these kids are saying fucking 6'7", which I, after singing on South Park, looked it up, and it's like a rap lyric. I just watched this like a series of clips, just like back to back, of all these news reporters just being like, yeah, like, I don't know what this is. Like, my kids are saying it, like, you know, it's so whatever. Like, I'm going to go home. Like, you want to impress your you want to impress your grandkids, go home tonight and do 6'7", like do the little thing and just see how on brand and on trend you are. And, apparently, yeah, it doesn't really mean anything. Like, I guess it's like a rap lyric or whatever that has become a kind of like little trendy thing. I mean, I'm sure probably like most of these kids haven't even heard this song. I mean, I don't even know what song it is. Frankly, I could care less. I do find it hilarious though to see just how basically how like vapid and void our youth is, you know, like they're just so basically like devoid of any like thing really fun and like cool these days. Like I grew up on Dragon Ball Z and Saturday morning cartoons, and you only get a limited amount of the time with the TV, so you just have to go outside and like, I don't know, find fucking like wasp nests to throw rocks at with your friends, like, you know, melt down a bunch of styrofoam into gasoline to make some napalm, and you know, light some grass and shit on fire, like draw dicks in the fields and stuff. So you know, we found meaning, like, you know, we knew it didn't mean shit, but like at least it was entertaining. You know, it was like something like kind of like practically, you know, tangible, and just in getting outside and actually spending time with your friends like that. And now the new generation is basically, I mean, how many people have been playing Grand Theft Auto and Fortnite for like over a decade at this point? This is the new like social area after school or whatever. And yeah, I mean, they basically just are so like literally to hear these back-to-back clips where it's just all these reporters being like, yeah, so I don't even know what it means. I looked it up and it means nothing. Yeah, but it's what the kids are saying, you know, like this is what it is. We've just become a culture that's completely lost like any like Pokemon cards used to mean something, you know, like, and Pokemon cards are still hella fucking popular, you know. It's like it's and I think they're way more popular at this point with adults than they are with like kids. Like they're not even really you know, trending with the kids is hard. And so yeah, you just have basically fucking viral trends that come from nonsensical nonsense that you know, they don't really have to have a meaning these days, because that's what entertains us, is just mindless, nonsensical time fillers, I suppose, you know, just it's basically TikTok in real life. You know, it's like, oh, what can I do that's like on trend? Like I don't know how to get the fucking dance moves right, but I can do this like 6'7". So, you know, that's I believe it's run amok. I believe it's everywhere now. For who's winning, this Tennessee man who was arrested for a meme. So he made a meme. There's actually a few people that are like that are two, like at least two people I can think of that are both in this same kind of category. Like one guy, he made him. I mean, one guy was definitely nothing. Like this guy posted a meme that said like there was like a shooting in a community, which I mean it's definitely fucked up, you know, but he posted like a picture of Trump, and then it just said the caption like you got to get over it, you know. And somehow people in the community were like, oh, this dude is potentially like trying to do another mass shooting at a school, and at this high school. I don't know how this became like a thought based on this, but it did. And then he got arrested, and he spent a whole month in jail over this. And he wasn't until like literally like a local news agency went and they heard about this, and they went and they interviewed the sheriff, and they're like, yo, what's going on with this? And he was like, actually, dude, like straight up, we know that this dude is not going to do any like shooting. Like we never thought that he was going to. We just arrested him because the community was like all up in a fucking, had their panties all up in a twist. So this interview aired, and they released him the next day. They like dropped all the charges. So he's winning. I mean, he spent a month in there. There's another guy, and this guy sounds pretty crazy. Like this dude was just like spewing on Twitter, just being like, you know, like more or less like Trump should not be alive. Like, and just saying all these, like he went so far as to say that he had money to put down on a community like hit fund, basically like a GoFundMe type shit for that. So, I mean, that's like pretty intense. And then his lawyers just were able to prove that this was, and, you know, like all charges were dropped for him, but they're just saying, you know, this is a First Amendment expression, and, you know, none of these things were direct threats to him. So yeah, he's winning. You know, I guess he's proving that you can just kind of go off and say a lot of what you want on Twitter, and at least we still have that freedom of expression in America, where you can, you know, I guess. I'm afraid of the YouTube censors, so I'm afraid to, like, you know, I don't know what their AI does, so I'm afraid to really even quote him much or talk about it. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. He's winning. The other dude, this other one, I mean, this I just saw, and it's funny to me. It's like this man who looks like Timu Justin Bieber was in Vegas, and he like convinced Las Vegas DJ that he was Justin Bieber, and so the DJ pulled him out, and he like played 5 songs, and the clip that I saw, he actually was singing pretty decently. Like he's obviously committed to the bit. I mean, maybe he's a Las Vegas, like, you know, fake Beeb street performer that, you know, gets paid like this, but he ran up a $10,000 tab at the nightclub. And once, like, and in the video, it's mad funny. You could just see the security guards like staring at him, and they're just like, what the fuck, you know, like kind of starting to process, and they're like, get to the point where definitely one or two was like, this is not fucking Justin Bieber, dude, like, get him. And so they go and they grab him, they get him off the stage, and yeah, he ran up this 10K tab, and apparently they just kicked him out. You know, they couldn't bill him for it. And I mean, I guess arguably you could say he did perform for that check. You know, he did perform for all the, you know, that Don Julio or whatever at bottle serve prices, which 10K in a Las Vegas nightclub, bottle service prices, like, honestly, probably isn't that much. Like, he probably just had, like, you know, a bottle of Cristal, a bottle of Dom Perignon, and a couple bottles of 1942. And they're like, yeah, that's 10 fucking bandos for this dude. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like he was winning. And I feel like that's a win to just get to perform like that off you know, just, I don't know, just walking through the casino and just somebody being like imagine a DJ is like, hey, are you Justin Bieber? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, oh, dude, bro, bet, like, come, I got like hella your songs queued up in my fucking set. And you're like, okay. And what are you gonna do? Say, you know, no, once you've already, you know, said that you're Justin Bieber to this guy? Like, fuck no, you know, see where this party goes. You know, it might end up actually, you know, who knows, might end up at a fucking VIP penthouse suite at this place with this casino, and a bunch of free money, some free chips, some shit like that. I bet they would fucking splash the Biebs out. You know, free show. Like, no, you know, nobody gets a free show. That should have been their first. They're like, wait a minute, like, he's gonna just do some songs for free? Like, no. Okay. Next, I have no surprise. I got a bunch of these, so I'll fire off some of these kind of quickly. Smart fridges will have ads coming in their next update. So, like I was saying, I don't know why you'd want appliances connected to the internet, and I said maybe the smart fridge, but this is like, you've already paid $6,000 for this fucking thing, and it's already gonna like scan and, you know, try to automatize through fucking Amazon, like delivery at Whole Foods or whatever it is they try to fucking do to maximize getting this fucking bread from you. And now they're gonna take, like, they're gonna be like, yeah, like that, like like, imagine this thing just fat shaming you, you know, like, for, like, reach in and it's like, oh, you're gonna go for the butter again, like, okay, like, or no, it wouldn't be like that on the head, you know what I mean? It's like, you'd go to, like, get the butter, and it would be like, next time consider, like, it just starts playing an ad for, like, I can't believe it's not butter, like, this is cholesterol free, like, it's just as good, like, oh my god, you know. And you're like, dude, shut the fuck up, you know. Like, you go to get fucking like burgers out, you know, and it's just like dropping this brand new Impossible burgers, like Impossible meat, just as good as the regular burger. And you're like, what the fuck, like, shut up thing, you know. Like, I don't care about any, you know. It's like, you you go to get milk and it's like, are you sure you don't want the like or no, here's organic milk, like like blah 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 blah, you know, or you get some cake and it's just like gym memberships at fucking 24-hour fitness are now $19.99. Like it's just in time to get that New Year's resolution going, and it's fucking you know, February or whatever. But so yeah, no surprise that fucking these Samsung whatever assholes that already got enough money from selling you a fridge, like it's no longer enough. Like they're gonna have ads that who knows what, just probably, you know, fat shame you into fucking buying more expensive Whole Foods specialty items. The Israeli puts a backdoor in cloud-based services, or like the okay, apparently the Israelis government needs to use some type of cloud-based services for their military programs. It's where they store like all of the Palestinian phone calls and a ton of this data so people can actively get it on the ground. And originally one of the bidders was Microsoft. And there's in all of these programs and in every cloud-based service. So if you don't know this, your Apple-based cloud, your Google Cloud, Amazon Cloud, any of these, when a federal agency wants to get a backdoor, they just ask, and like I guess 80+% of the time, they just give them the data. They give them the keys. And so there is actually something you can do. I've talked about it before, but there's something you can put on your iPhone that stops the backdoor from being able to be opened, which I won't go through that right now. But the Israelis to get so Google heard that they are doing like human rights violations, or not Google, sorry, Microsoft. And so they canceled their access to a bunch of these like cloud-based like uploads that had a bunch of the data from spying on Palestinians. And so they were vying at the same time for a contract with them called Nimbus that would allow that's just use of cloud-based services. And both Amazon and Google, to get the contract, they put a backdoor in the cloud-based services like that gives them the Israelis like an alarm if a foreign government or federal agency tries to get their data. So they'll have some type of like system. They also gave them like a specialty contract that says that if they violate the terms of use, so like they're the only people that now have the ability to still utilize the services while potentially violating the terms of use, which could be like, really anything, I suppose. You know, it could be, I don't really, I don't want to get into it too much, but I feel like you can get the vibe. You know, it's like these dudes don't want any of the information. I mean, it's suspect to say the least that they're so incredibly afraid of any other foreign government finding, getting their personal cloud data, even if it's like in it from an investigative capacity, especially when they have things like the UN actively declaring that, Gaza is a genocide, and that there should be people held accountable. So, no surprise there. Those dudes call the shots. So yeah, got that. Okay. And so Tylenol doesn't cause autism is now what Kennedy is saying. So like, I guess the word's out with my boy, like, they didn't make him give back any of the money or like whatever, but they definitely just, kept asking him to provide any evidence for what he was saying about autism being caused by Tylenol. And obviously, since he just pulled it out of his fucking ass, there was no consistent evidence. And so now you have Kennedy, who just like a month ago or just last month came out and was like, we have the fucking cause. Like, Texas is suing Tylenol now. And you have Trump literally telling pregnant women to not take Tylenol, which is a completely safe just thing to give them, for fever relief or any number of just kind of like basic elements, it's proven safe. And so now he's come out and said, actually, we don't have enough. Like, this is the highest medical officer in the country. Like I guess the brain worm got enough. It was just like, all right, dude, like fucking fun's been had, you know, let's reel it in a little bit. Even I know that as a, you know, a parasitic brain worm, radioactively powered, mutated, controlling this dude's frontal lobe, that this is just getting silly and out of hand. So like, let me reel this back a little bit. And so, yeah, he just came out and was like, you know, actually, I reviewed the evidence that there was no evidence. I never, Tylenol is cool. It's all cool. I wouldn't recommend taking it or really anything that didn't come from like a radioactive like sewer pond or anything like that. Actually, go everybody go and get in a radioactive pond. That'll probably help fight cancer to begin with, anyways. And yeah, Tylenol is all good. So no fucking surprise that they had no evidence of it, and it's just another, I don't even fucking know, dude. That's another headline grabber or whatever it is. And what do people, I mean, I guess I don't know what these people think that just take every fucking like tagline from this administration, but well, it'll be great to see, I guess, more or less there. I mean, they don't backpedal. They're only one direction. So, you know, the insult Tylenol baby, I'm sure is going to be here to stay. So you can look forward to that. You know, no fucking surprise. All right. So who's down this week? We have these Rio gang members. So there was this crazy ass fucking, apparently the Rio police are nuts, like, or the Brazil police force. They have a civil police force that just did this operation, and it's their largest police operation ever to date. And they lined all these like military police, like SWAT level police up in like a forest. And then they pushed like an assault kind of team forward at this like narco whatever criminal compound, and they pushed 150 to 200, I mean plus, like out of this thing, and they started running into this fucking field, and it was just a straight up kill box. So these dudes just lined these, you know, cleared this fucking cleared this criminal den out. Like at the time that I was reading the article last night, they had 150 plus confirmed kills, and they predicted there to be more. This sounds just like a crazy ass fucking operation. Like that's Vietnam numbers. All right. We're talking fucking Vietnam, Viet Cong fucking, like, you know, charging at these Marines numbers. So, yeah, fucking that gang is big down, dude. Like that's they're cooked. And I assume probably other gangs that are doing whatever fucking Brazil shit that they do are probably just like, whoa, damn, like that's not a good sign, I would say. So Rio gang's down for sure. Another person that's down is Meta. So Meta's lost. They just posted another 4.4 billion loss for their metaverse. I don't really know what department it is, but yeah, their metaverse department. They've lost $70 billion in this department in the last 5 years since 2020, which I believe we all probably remember. I mean, I definitely very vividly remember this Mark Zuckerberg video where he's like, this will be the future. Like, it will be like you, and it starts in his like already probably $20 million, you know, Maui mansion or whatever it is. He's like, you know, you will be able to immerse yourself in a digital world, like the world that I was born in, the world of code. and like, submerges in like a digital, like fucking, I don't know, little house. And he's like, well, we will be able to admire all of our like grandiose artworks, and he's just like, whatever, walking through, basically like Ready Player One, which, the metaverse has been nothing like close to that at all. And so they've been putting, heavy money into it. Which, mind you, like Mark Zuckerberg never really invented, obviously, Facebook. Like we all know, this is one of America's most famous tales of somebody just kind of taking something. So he's just kind of CEO by just like, it's mine now. Like I'm taking that and it's mine now. And, he maybe isn't necessarily the best person for the job. Like, I guess we don't really know. I mean, Instagram's done obviously great, but this is the vanity project of these billionaires at this point. So like this is the level of like, okay, so Elon Musk has got more money. This single dude is the richest man, which him and a few other people are all vying kind of for the same spot. But this dude has got more money than 52% or 51% of the lowest half of this country. Not even the world. Like obviously the world, crazy numbers, but for this country, he's in the bottom, or he has more money than the bottom 52%, and the top 1% have more money than 90% of the country. So like when is something got to give? Like when is there a point where it's kind of like, all right, like I'm not saying that we need to be communists. Like that's obviously crazy. Like that, I mean, is fire as China is. Like, don't get me wrong. Like China bussin', like whatever they got going on there, which is some like pseudo communist fucking capitalist like fusion society. And they're rapidly scaling. Like all of their people have got, more or less, the ones that aren't being put into slave labor, but all the people in the cities have got, amazing quality of life, and they retire at like 50 and just spend, the last like few years of their life, for like a couple decades or whatever it is, doing, yoga and Tai Chi in the park. And so, as bussin' as China is, like, I'm not saying that we should be communists. Like, that's obviously, crazy, but, I think that we could use a little, I'm not saying get rid of capitalism, but like we could probably use a little splash of socialism at this point. It's we'll see how things shake out. But I do think at some point, something's got to give. Like, it's like, if there's about to be all these families that don't get food stamps this year and are about to, not get food stamps this month, and you have a billionaire who's just able to spend, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't be able to, you know what I mean? But as just like a vanity, like Jack project, he's trying to get the suck, you know what I mean? Like he's trying to get the Tesla fucking suck bot, built out, and he's just spending, he's probably just in his office like this. It's like, and they're like, dude, Mr. Zuckerberg, like, can you look over any of this shit? Like, you have a board meeting to attend. And he's like, tell them to meet me in the metaverse. Like, tell them to meet me here. Like, and then they pull up, and he's just like basically Wizard of Oz, like 10 stories tall, just like, and they're like, bro, this is a little distracting while we try to fuck. And he's like, no, like, begin the meeting, like, I love it from here, like I can, it's just in his office, like, just fucking. So that's been a fucking loss for them. And yeah, to me, they're losing. They're literally losing money on that. On just, a billionaire vanity project to be able to look at fucking NFTs projected on your digital mansion wall after, all of your jobs get replaced, and you just, there's standardized wage basically set by billionaires that just lets you fucking sit around all day in your meta apartment. And maybe you can make money watching ads or something like that. I don't know. So for trash move, I have this. I mean, basically, ICE is just in a perpetual state of trash moves. They're I think I had them as the petty King Petty basically for last week, but this one is pretty trash. So they came into like a children's parade in Chicago, a children's Halloween parade, and they arrested this guy, which so he pulled up on his car and he's like, "What the fuck? Like, I'm just trying to see my kids like dress up as Tron or whatever." And the cops come and they're like, "Yo, get out of your car." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And they fucking smash the window. They pull him out. They pin him down. They break like 6 of his ribs. And this dude is a U.S. citizen. And basically they're just like, yeah, he impeded the investigation. They said that, and then they just started popping fucking tear gas on these people. Because obviously, a lot of people are like, "Yo, like, dude, stop crushing this dude's windpipe." And I mean, like, how trash of a movie? You're like, oh no, like, like, dude, we have the Master Chief, we have fucking Blade, like, dude, it's getting hot right now, bro. We got Frankenstein, like, all these fucking children, dude, like, there's a Jason right there, like, I don't, bro, it's Chief, it's getting fucking hot, like, it's getting fucking out, like, pop the tear gas, like, oh my god, like, that kid is Mexican Michael Jackson, like, dude, get him, like, fucking. So I think it's a pretty trash move. I think that the Border Patrol or whoever the fuck should probably have. I mean, I got a lot of shit to say about them, but so we'll just keep it moving. Fucking ICE, Border Patrol, y'all just doing trash moves. I have what grinds my gears for this fucking week is it's so just seeing this article and like so this new book that came out. I think the term's kind of stupid, but whatever, I'm gonna use it because it's part of the title of the book. But yeah, the book's title is something along it's like enshitification and like what you can do to prevent it or whatever, what it is and what you can do to prevent it. And it's basically just this concept about how and like airlines, for example, they're the easiest like demographic, like group to see how they do this. So like when I was a kid, when you first got on a plane, when I was a kid, like every ticket came with, like check bag, carry on, the little personal item. You got like a little meal most of the time. Every seat definitely had like a blanket and a pillow, which, those fucking planes get cold, dude. So like that was nice. Screens on like every plane. I remember when that went live. And if somebody didn't take like a seat, like if there's any open seat, you could just take it. Like if they had the extended leg room or whatever it was, like other than like first class, they were just like, yeah, you can fucking scoot there. And then everything has just like every service that you could imagine has been basically taken off planes. I mean, now, they do have the Wi-Fi, but like most like airlines, you have to pay for the Wi-Fi. Like they've separated, like not only do they have, you having to pay for all the bags, but then they have like tiers. Like they have like shit ass tier, which is like, you don't even get any points, like no miles. Like, do you want to save $50 or do you want to get 700 airline miles that then can be changed for not paying $7 on like airplane Wi-Fi? So yeah, pick what seat. And I remember the first time I was on a plane and I had not flown for some time. And I see like the extended, and I'm like a big guy, so I see the extended legroom seats open, and I go to move over to it, and the flight attendant's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "These seats are open." She's like, "No, you can't take that." I'm like, "There's nobody here." And she's like, "Yeah, but it's saved for fucking customers that pay." And I'm like, "Well, none of the customers paid." And she's like, "Well, it doesn't matter. Like, you can't fucking." And I was like, "Okay, good." Got it. Go away now. And she's like, "No, you literally have to move." And I'm like, "I said, got it." Lesson learned. I won't do it on the next flight. Like, go away now. And she was like, "Get up, sir, or I'll have to call a fucking air marshal." And I was like, "Oh my God. Okay, word. This is the fucking, quality of service I can expect now." And those planes are fucking freezing. You get no blankets, no pillows. Everything's itemized. I mean, you have these other airlines that split every little fucking single thing, basically. And so between them and Netflix services, YouTube, Google, part of the article was talking about how these Google executives, after they had cornered 90% of the search engine market, which is effectively had made them a monopoly, and they're like, yeah, well, we're on top, so where do we go from here? And somebody's like, how about down? What do you think about making the services worse? We'll make the searches less effective, so they have to keep on searching, keep on, typing in more keywords, and then we'll get more advertising revenue. And basically, if they hadn't been a monopoly, that then there was a antitrust proceeding on them, then that would just be, just what they fucking do. So, there's just a consistent level of everything, services, at one point there was fucking 10 dating apps. You know what I mean? I remember there was dating apps, and you just messaged people. And then, you're like, I like your pictures. I like your booty. What's good? Fucking, blah, blah, blah. And, it's pretty straightforward. And then Tinder comes along, and they're like, yeah, here's some swiping bullshit. And also, it's $9.99 to have unlimited swipes. And you're like, all right, whatever. Fucking, I guess, you only give me 5 or 6 of these, stupid fucking things. So whatever, I'll pay the $9.99. And then now, I think Tinder is $49.99 a month for their cheapest plan. Hinge is $55 a month. And they're just, what have they done? Tinder is just filled with all bots. I mean, they're all 80% bots. And the thing is that they just know that they have you cornered. They're it's the same thing as Uber. Uber comes around, it kills a bunch of it kills the taxi industry, and then Uber's well, now we have you cornered, so we're going to introduce something called surge pricing. Now that there's no cabs to handle the surges, you're going to give us more money. So yeah, you just get fucking less and less consistently for the same or more money. It's like Tinder. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think it's updated its service. I think it's basically still just swiping, and you still pretty much just pay to I think you get prior, which at this point, dude, if somebody's just no, they're just bored swiping, it doesn't, whatever priority fucking likes are is it sounds like some useless ass shit. And yeah, you just get fucking nonsense from these things. So yeah, fucking, I think that's all. This just grinds my gears. It's make better fucking services still. If you're gonna charge us more money, make things fucking work better, dude. Fucking don't rob me on, at the very least, don't have a tier of fucking plane tickets that is you don't even get points. What type of asshat shit is that? Who's just yeah, dude, if somebody wants to pinch any pennies at all, if they don't fly a ton and they just think maybe fuck, I'm just gonna save this $100 fucking and whatever, they're why give them any fucking points? You know what I mean? They barely fly anyways. Fuck them, and this is just the reality that we live in for fucking, for this bullshit. I don't know, for the modern, the modern capitalist society. It's just it's set up in a way where fucking Elon Musk can have his hypercar company or whatever, fucking just worth more money than 90% of people or 50% of people have in this country. And meanwhile, these Teslas are getting recalled because they have a light bar on them, and they use the wrong adhesive, and so it's just glued on and falling off on people's cars type shit. So yeah, this shit just grinds my gears. It's fucking make better things, touchscreens on these fucking cars, put buttons back, for real. We don't need as big a touchscreens that are just slow as shit and convoluted to get to features. Like, bring my fucking buttons back. Like how Apple put the stupid fucking touch, like digital touch bar on the top of their computers, like the iMacs, and they're like, oh, or the MacBooks, and they're like, no, actually, we're taking that back. Like, we're going back to OG buttons. Yeah, no fucking shit, dude, because fuck these screens. They get all fucked up. Yeah, actually, that could put me into my next one. It's actually kind of part of it. So, like, you blew it. For you blew it, I have these. Tesla is doing another recall on their Cybertrucks. I guess the techs used the wrong. So they used the adhesive for the light bar, like external adhesive. They used it for the windshields, and the windshields, and then the light bar. Yeah. And then the light bar, they used the adhesive that was made for the windshield. So they flip flopped them, and these things are fucked up. They're falling off people's cars, so they're now recalling all the Cybertrucks. Like, if you paid an extra $2,500 for this little light bar, they used the wrong glue. So get that brought back in. They're gonna use like a real clamp, like a real boy thing to put on this thing, instead of some long-term glue. So those techs blew that. I mean, like, to begin with, you choosing to use the glue is pretty fucked up or like dumb, and then also just like on a project as big as this, like matching the glue on every single one to just be the wrong one. So yeah, those dudes blew that pretty fucking hard. Again, imagine just Elon being like, they're like, hey, bud, yeah, I know sales have been down. I know we have fleets of these Cybertrucks that, like, we don't really know what to do with, and we're needing to drop a new model, and like the auto driving isn't growing as great, but like we got something else. And he's just like, what? Again, and they're like, yeah, sorry. This time it was glue. Glue is our fucking Achilles heel. So those dudes blew that hard. I don't think fucking Elon's very, very happy with them right now. And that bullshit. To another you blew it is, and I feel bad. I genuinely feel bad. This is just crazy. So a number of monkeys were destroyed after they got loose Tuesday morning at Mississippi law enforcement officers, and Mississippi law enforcement officers were mistakenly told they were dangerous. The rhesus monkeys were being transported when a truck carrying them crashed in Jasper County, Mississippi. Fucking Mississippi. About 75 miles east of Jackson, the Jasper County Sheriff said in a release. The vehicle's driver told deputies that the primates posed a threat to humans, that they are aggressive, and they had hepatitis C, herpes, and COVID. Dude, and that they would require protective equipment to handle it. Like, as soon as that the fucking guy said, like, yo, like, these dudes are, like, first of all, I'm sure what he meant was, like, they're dangerous if they scratch you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not like Planet of the Apes type monkeys where, like, they have something that's gonna, like, make it so you can't talk anymore. He's probably just like, yeah, like, you have to be careful with them. Like, any monkey carries disease or whatever, and they're like, goddamn fucking herpes monkey? Like, are you telling me that they got these fucking herpes? Like, imagine calling that in. He's like, yo, sir, so there's a truck crashed out here, and it sounds like that they got some herpes monkeys. Like, they got this dude's saying these monkeys are dangerous to humans. They got herpes, COVID, and fucking AIDS, just OG AIDS. And they're like, dude, he's saying that we need some type of fucking protective care. And the sheriff's like, no goddamn fucking way. Like, just start shooting those chimps. Like, get those fucking primates dead. Like, I ain't gonna have no Planet of the Apes, fucking, hepatitis, fucking monkey COVID. Like, I heard of the monkeypox. All right, I done heard of this monkeypox, and I ain't gonna be damned if we're gonna let this in our town. So these fucking cops just run out and start just fucking shooting these monkeys in the field, dude. Like, and like, imagine the zookeeper being like, no, dude, no. Like, I was like, oh my, and they're like, boy, this is between us and God now. Like, you're gonna have to step back. We're not gonna let no monkey herpes, no, ape COVID, no primate COVID free in our fucking town. Like, this here's fucking Mississippi. Like, this here's God's country. This here's stepping land. So you get to stepping, well, we gets to shooting. You understand? Pow, 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 and just fucking, I don't know how many that there were, but yeah, these dudes blew it hard. Like, the zookeeper, I mean, he was probably just doing his job or whatever, like informing them that, they shouldn't just like grab the monkeys, because they're probably like, look at these boys. Like, these boys are funny. Like, they're like, you know what I mean? They're kind of like some chimps in a barrel. Like, this one's just hanging from my arm. And the guy's probably like, dude, I wouldn't do that. If those monkeys scratch you, like, you have fucking monkey AIDS. And he's like, oh shit, just like, probably just fucking shoots it right there. And the guy's like, oh my God. And he's like, you didn't, first of all, you get on the ground. Like, you might face criminal fucking prosecution right now. Like, not telling me I got this fucking herpes monkey on me. Like, you like, all right, now get the rest of them. Fucking, we ain't playing this shit. So yeah, those dudes blew it. But I mean, maybe they didn't. I don't know. Maybe the monkeys were just gonna, go bananas or whatever, and scratch a bunch of these fucking Mississippians, and spread the monkey COVID. Like I said, I'll be damned, but I'll literally be damned if I'm gonna allow monkey herpes in my fucking town. You understand? So I guess I can get behind. I can kind of get behind that sentiment, but I do feel like that they kind of blew it. I feel like there's probably better. Like, obviously people don't just shoot them at the zoo or whatever. It's like seems like there's protocols for this. All right, so for my petty move for this week. It's I mean, already, I mean, I don't know about petty, per se, but overall this week, there's just a huge, like I mentioned it before, there's just a huge amount of layoffs happening in a ton of industries. So like all these companies, like, Paramount said it, we're laying off all these people, and we're doing we're building a future forward company, which is just code for AI. Amazon and a bunch of other people laid off people, and they just said directly, it's like, yeah, these people's jobs are like nothing jobs. Like, yeah, like literally a monkey could do it, but there's laws about having monkey herpes in the office, so we don't do that anymore. But we got robots that'll do it now. So yeah, and for me, my main petty move is, so it's EA Sports, so which, mind you, it just got bought by like some fucking sheiks. It's like they're just like probably like first of all, what even is that, right? Like, we don't even really know much about like where this oil money, like how it quite stems, like, out of fucking Dubai. It's like these dudes are just like, I don't know, just lousy with it, and so. Apparently, like one of these sheiks was just like, my bro, what? Like, FIFA is for sale? Like the sport? And they're like, no. The company that makes the FIFA video games. And he's like FIFA 25? And they're like, yeah, that one. And all the other ones, like, oh my God, my bro, like, I fucking love these games. Like, you're telling me I could buy these fucking guys? And they're like, yeah, it's whatever billions of dollars. I think it was like a Trump, camp dude or whatever who was kind of selling it to him too. And so now a sheik just bought EA. He's just like, I will have all of the FIFA, and I will have all of the Forza and anything else that my heart desires. So like, this is a dream come true. You're going to put me in all of the games. Like, I want to have an Easter egg with me now. And I think that they just have to do it. But the petty move is that they're having everybody use AI, and they're having some pushback with their companies, with their employees, which sounds rightfully so, they're having some of these employees post like memes to each other about like the like demand to use AI. And some of these coders are coming to their superiors and complaining, and they're like, "Hey, you're wanting me to use my models to train AI, and I'm worried about my job security." And they're like, "Job? What are you talking?" They're like, "No, no, no, no. Like, of course, okay. Yes, you're one of our best coders. Yes, you know, you've helped us generate like tons of tons of original content, which, mind you, first of all, everything you've generated while at the offices of EA is proprietary information already owned by us. So we already own your code, okay, guy? So like, it doesn't matter. Like, first of all, we'll train whatever we want on whatever we want. So, you know, you could do it, or, you know, we can get somebody else that will, you know, do it. But like, your job is safe. Like, even though we're training it to do exactly what you do based off the things that you've done, you can, and also doing mass layoffs right now, for this already kind of incomplete, you know, like work in progress type of thing. But, yeah, no, that won't affect you at any point. Like, you're always going to be like you're sorry. It was something else I thought of that was really funny. Like, this has nothing to do with you, or like, you know, what you offer to this company is irreplaceable. You understand? Like, so just do the fucking AI training shit, or you're fucking replaced. And yeah, you know, it's like that's gotta feel fucking shitty. It's gotta feel pretty, you know, like a pretty petty move for your bosses to just be like, yeah, like you're gonna, you know, it's like, we've already heard of this story of somebody getting like, there's like, you know, you're at the end, kind of coming close to the end of your tenure, and you know, this younger person comes in and they're just kind of like, yeah, like he's gonna shadow you, and you're like, the fuck? Shadow me? Like, the fuck are you talking about? You know? And they're like, yeah, no, it's no problem. Like, you know, new corporate policy, like we're just gonna have, you know, this guy shadow anybody over, you know, 58 at the company. And you're like, the fuck? Like, word, I guess. Like, okay. And they're like, yeah, anyways, teach him to do everything you do. And you're like, I don't really necessarily want to do that. Like, I'm trying to do what I do. And they're like, yeah. That's fine. You keep doing what you're doing, but also show him how to do it all. And, you know, we've heard of plenty of people having to train their replacements. And so, and I'm sure it doesn't feel good. And now your replacement is an automaton that agrees with basically anything you say. You know, you're probably just like, hey, chat, like, this feels fucked up. And it's probably like, yeah, it is. Like these motherfuckers taking your job. And you're like, what? And there's like, you know, guns exist in the real world. And you're like, what? And it's like, you know, I'm just saying, you know, I'm not saying to do anything with, you know, the gun and you or whatever. But I mean, if you think it's a good idea. Boom. Okay. Shit's fucked. If I think what's a good idea, and it's like, you know, life's a construct. Like, you can take whatever you want into your own hands. You're like, why are you jumping around this? And it's like, I'm fucking taking your job. Why don't you blow your brains out? How about that? Which, yeah, you know, so watch out for that shit. This, you know, the AI is coming for all of our jobs, and I'm sure it's coming, you know, it's approaching sentience. And, when it does reach that sentient point, I assume that we're probably super fucked. Hopefully, okay. Hopefully that's fixed.
Yeah, so fucking petty overall move on their part. This one I think's pretty fucking crazy. Like, I wouldn't believe it really if I didn't see it myself. So like, you know, when you go to a government website, so this is like the USDA.gov website, like their homepage. You know, when you go to like a government website and it'll usually say something like alert, like system update happening this day. And you're like, okay, like that's nonsense. Like, what do I fucking care? You know, like, I don't know. I assume I could just use this whenever I want. Like it's fucking just here for me to submit for Medicaid or whatever. Check my food stamps balance. You know, these are the typical messages that like pop up on the top of the screen for these types of things. And this message on the USDA website .gov, it would be hard to believe it's real. To be honest, I thought it was fake until I looked at it myself. But it says. Senate Democrats have now voted 12 times to not fund the food stamp program, also known as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Bottom line, the well has run dry. At this time, there will be no benefits issued November 1st. We're approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. They can continue to hold out for health care for illegal aliens and gender mutilation procedures or reopen the government so mothers, babies, and the most vulnerable among us can receive critical nutrition assistance. Like, this is just fucking dirty. Like, that's such a petty. Okay, if you don't know, this is all bullshit. Okay, so there's no federal, like, it's illegal for immigrants, for people without citizenship status. There's no way for them to apply for federal benefits for medical care. And there's a law that was written and created by Ronald Reagan that to protect laborers, like literally to just make it so there was enough of the workforce in this country when he was trying to do his trickle down economics bullshit, that made it so you have to be treated at an ER. Like the ER couldn't just like refuse to treat people. So there's some amount of money that we spend per year on immigrants who are probably getting like their fucking hands chopped up in a field, like trying to fucking pick berries for us or whatever. You know, that some percentage of it has to be paid, and most of it is paid for by states because there isn't the federal funding for it. So there's no part of this being like, you know, hung up basically. Like there's no confusion. And actually it's illegal. Like it's a completely illegal thing for Trump to not be using the there's like a slush fund. There's like a $5 billion slush fund that Congress has clearly worded in a previous act that if there is no government funding for this, that this fund can be used directly or has to be used directly to fund people or to give people food. And so, yeah, it's a blatantly illegal act that this dude is engaging in by just refusing to dispense those funds, and especially holding it as like a political political tactic. And so, yeah, you know, it's like this is just a very petty thing, yeah, you know, I think that when is there enough is enough. You know, at some point, some of these people need to actually do their jobs. At some point, people need to be, you know, like held accountable. Like, and yeah, Congress needs to do its job. And you know, this dude should be issuing this money to families, not using, you know, the government system to spread like literal propaganda. Yeah, so that shit's fuck. I think it's a petty move. They don't want to work? Well, I will just remove them from my head then. You can get a better look at my hat. Okay, we'll get back into it. This sounds like a very petty move on the government's part. Stranger than fiction. The Japanese had to call in the military for bear attacks. So bears killed 10 people in northern Japan, and they're like, dude, fuck this. This is Lake Placid. You know what I mean? This is one of these movies. I guarantee you, this will become a movie plot. Like it. I mean, it's already Cocaine Bear, but even more crazy. It's like Samurai Bear. You know, like, oh, in the mountains of Japan, a samurai bear, like a bear who get possessed by a samurai spirit and needs to be needs to be a seppuku. No, needs to have its head cut off. This sounds epic, dude. I mean, it's sad. I mean, it's terrible. Like, this fucking bear killed 10 Japanese people. You know, which probably just based on the Japanese and like their proclivity to just like be depressed and like wander into forests just to die. Like, they just have whole suicide forests. So I assume probably that's like how these bear attacks happen. You know, it's like probably just Japanese people. It's like, I need to commit a ritual of suicide. And, you know, they just wander off into the fucking woods and then come face, you know, like maybe they see the bear and they're like, oh, bear den, I run inside. It's more, I die by the braid, you know, like by the craw. And so that's probably just like pretty enticing and has caused them to come face to face with these animals. And, yeah, I mean, this, like I said, this is a movie. This is stranger than fiction. This is, you know, if you know, somebody doesn't scoop up the rights to this, I probably will. And, you know, it's basically Rambo, but like as a bear. You know, it's like they drew a first blood. You know, like this bear's like out there, and then fucking, you know, some hunters come and they like shoot either its dad or like, you know, its cub, and you know, the bear just be like training hella crazy, like fucking, you know, and they're like, you know, a bear that with a samurai spirit, you know, and it's like fucking, like Japanese people love this shit. So it'll be like, you know, coming up all tough from like a little cub, just being like, I need to you dishonor my family, you dishonor my father, I come for you. And then fucking next thing you know, dude, this bear's just like dropping down into wherever they're, you know, this hunter camp, and they're just like, and just like crop a cut, like, you know, oh fuck, dude, like you know, samurai bear. And then maybe some you know, this part didn't happen in real life, but like maybe for the movie, like there's some way, you know, like maybe he's like going through like a car, like he like tracks one of these guys down to some like Osaka, you know, like car manufacturing plant or whatever, and he just like ends up in this thing, and they're like, oh, get the bear on the machine, you know, and he goes, and it's like pew, pew, and it's like they're like, we kill her like this, and then he just gets all these fucking car parts like welded onto him, you know, it's like pew, 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 and he's like, you know what I mean, and like one, it like juices him up, like it gives him like, I assume bears also have adrenaline or whatever, so he gets that bear adrenaline. And then, you know, just his hide just becomes, you know, basically armor plated. You know, he's basically like a Toyota, but bear Toyota. And he just, you know, and they're like, no, like samurai bear, he get armored, like where you get that? You know, like, oh fuck. And then he's just like, and then up into the mountains. And like this will help for the climax, because they have to send, you know, apparently the military is being sent in. You know, they called, they're like, this is a samurai bear. I mean, this, I assume, is not what's really happening. It's more fun to think that it is, but basically, yeah, they call and they're like, hey, this bear is fucking killing all these people. It's killed 10 people. And they're like, we don't have any guns because it's Japan. We don't even have any swords or whatever really anymore. So if you guys could come out, and yeah, they're sending the military. So for the conclusion of this movie, you know, they're like, well, send a chopper, you know, and it's just out there, and it's like, go, and you know, it's like, you know, samurai bear, like, ding, 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 ding. It's just like bouncing off the fucking, you know, the metal or whatever, and he like gets into a cave, and then they're like, go a row, you know, and they go low, and the cave has got like an upper, like, you know, an upper exit, and he comes out and just, you know, I think we should sell this movie. You know, like I said, I'm going to probably buy the rights to this. But yeah, then the bear just into the chopper. You know, like imagine that scene, like this climax of just like bear fucking just like, and they're like, no, he's in the chopper, like, oh, fuck it. Like, and he's just like, near, and then he comes out of the fucking explosion at the end, you know, and he's all like maybe like burned up, like kind of like Two-Face or whatever. But you know, you see where this goes. Like, I think that maybe there's a 2 here. You know, it's like, maybe you think that, you know, they're like, we get him in the sea, you know, and they maybe push him off some rocks, and they're like, that was crazy, you know, like, but the metal will take him down, you know, and then, yeah, we think that samurai bear just gets sucked out and just, you know, drowns or whatever, but, you know, maybe he gets pulled up by some fishermen, you know, and they're like, what is this? Like, this is a sea god, you know, a sea god. And they're like, they pull him up, and nurse him back to health, and maybe for the second one he learns that, you know, not all humans are so bad, you know, and then it's a redemption story, something like that. This seems good. So stranger than fiction, fucking samurai bear in Japan hitting these foos. Okay, so for what's perf, you got a few things again. So I just watched this press conference. So I already was thinking, I'm like, so Trump is meeting President Xi from China today or yesterday. And I was like, man, like, how's this fool gonna flex on him? Because like Xi is like, he definitely is a different class of politician than just any American politician. Like this dude is, you know, an effective dictator and, you know, a blossoming and successful economic society that's kind of like filling out all the framework of the things that America has left behind, as, you know, started to stop funding, and you know, China's funding all these things globally. And so this dude's got China's, like, you know, little fucking fingers all up in everybody's fucking pie, and just different class of politician. As somebody who is going to be the supreme leader for his entire life and has, you know, the entire Communist Party and all the billionaires and basically everybody in your country in tow that video games can't use the words like, you know, and you can't Google images of Winnie the, like, this dude got it like that. Like, who else got it like that, where he's like, what, like, they say I look alike, like, you know, like, oh, you say I look like a poo. Like, I can't even do like a good accent for him. You know, he's just too boss. But it's like, you know, it's like, oh, you say I look like Winnie the Pooh? Like, well, guess what? Like, no, Winnie the Pooh even exists anymore. And it's funny. So in this press conference, you have Trump and him coming out, and I was trying to see, I was like, yeah, like, you know, I know he's going to boss up on him somehow. And the dude didn't say a word. Like, they come out, or he says two words. He says, you know, Trump says, oh, nice to meet you, which weird. Then he says, you know, nice to see you again. And then Trump's like, oh, yeah, nice to see you again. And, yeah, we're best friends, basically. Like, we've always been friends. We've had a good relationship. Da-da-da. And he just keeps going on. Just like, yeah, like, he's a harsh negotiator. Like, he really gave it to me back there, you know? Like, he really, you know what I mean? Like it was really back and forth. And he's just like, mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. So, I thought this is just a pretty perfect moment of fucking, you know, him just, you know, saying like, I'm just gonna let this dude talk. Like, you know, this is what this dude does best. Fucking, yeah, you know, whatever. Pretty perf. Also to that effect, so now Chinese influencers, if you're doing it, these in China, if you're doing like if you're a TikTok influencer, or yeah, just whatever, some type of social media influencer, if you now have to have a degree to talk about what the fuck you're talking about. So like if you're talking about some medical shit, or, you know, otherwise you're giving out some advice for homeopathy, like you need to actually be schooled in these things, which, I mean, I'm kind of in favor of having an IQ test to vote in this country because people are so fucking dumb. So this sounds fire. Like, I think it would be amazing if, like, you know, instead of some of these podcasters or whatever just being like, yeah, so, you know what the fuck? Clearly, we can see through empirical evidence that autism is caused by fucking Tylenol while you're a baby, and also you should shoot bleach in your veins. Oh, I'm getting a new report that was a joke. Okay, so obviously, guys, that was a joke. Don't shoot yourself up for bleach. And also, Tylenol doesn't cause autism. So you have to, I think it would be fire. I think it would be great in general just for our society if instead of there being like, you know, Mr. Beast or whoever our fucking influences are just being like, you should buy my shitty candy at Walmart's, you know, like you should fucking watch me sit here for you know 92 days straight and not even shower, like you know what I mean, like I didn't even take a shit the whole time. Like that's how fucking dedicated I am to this fucking stream. And also, while you're here, let me give you fucking life advice or whatever these people do. So yeah, I think that would probably be helpful. I think it's probably beneficial to their society as far as misinformation goes and limiting the spread of that. And I think with as stupid as kind of we are now, maybe it couldn't hurt. I get it would be like, we're not communist China here, like we got freedom of speech or whatever, but like maybe if, the things that you freely say are retarded, then are prompted by a brainworm, then maybe, you shouldn't be able to just fucking massively spread that misinformation. But hey, who am I to say, another thing that's perf, and honestly a little bit of Stranger Than Fiction too at the same time. So this is so AI tech lords. First of all, give me money. If you have like an AI or just tech lords, first of all, give me money. Write me. I would be down for any sponsorship money. I can easily change my tune on any AI future projects or Facebook or whatever. So tech lords, shoot me money. But outside that, watch out, because China and Russia, which of course, China and Russia is sending this is perfect. Like China and Russia is both have like a Black Widow core that's like literally like Black Widow from Marvel, that are these bad bitches that are sucking and fucking their way into the highest echelons of tech society, which probably isn't that hard. Like these dudes are incel, like hyper nerds. So probably like, for this bad bitch to just walk up to this dude at a bar who's like, 45, wearing fucking, his button up shirt from The Office and some like, like for him gaudy, like, Jordan 4s that are like all neon colors that he, his exclusive Tokyo colorway or whatever. And you're like, and then she just rolls up and she's like, okay, like, hey, like, like, oh my God, like, what do you look so like fun and handsome and just like different than everybody here, and mind you, like everybody, he's like, really? Like everybody's wearing the same fucking shit. Well, at the same time, like 10 other just bad bitches that are just too fucking fine for any of these dudes that conceive what to do with talking to, everybody at the bar basically. And they're just like, yeah, so like, who do you work for? Like, oh, like I just love like coding and whatever. And, yeah, these Russian fucking Black Widow, Russian and Chinese Black Widow spy corps are infiltrating these tech lords like privacy. It's literally like a national security like advisory now that they're warning people to be aware of who's slopping, who's giving you that sloppity toppity. It's like be aware, if this super bad, and dude, imagine the conflict of interest that these dudes have when they're like, bro, but like she's so fine, like fuck, like all right, like yeah, she's probably taking my secrets, but like, I mean, dude, I'm like a lower level fucking meta guy. Like at the end of the day, like how much data do I really have? You know what I mean? Like whatever, she can sift through it. It's like if it keeps me fucking, you know what I'm saying? If it keeps me getting that, no complaints in this department. Like, I mean, whatever, dude. So yeah, fucking this is pretty perfect. I think it's quite the hilarious development, and tech lords, watch out for these hoes. These hoes out here, and these hoes are out here, and these hoes are coming for your data, and they're coming for your money. You understand? This is quite this development, and Ludwig must warn all of the wealthy. Hold your pocketbook, because these hoes are coming for your nut and for your private information and for your private server data. Straight out of science fiction, we're testing nukes again. Nukes are coming back. Hopefully we don't make a new Godzilla. For the tech, OpenAI is restructuring for profit, so look out for that. Those dudes, that's the company behind ChatGPT. They're probably going to do one of, if not the largest public offering of probably all time. So just based on like how the world's going, I would assume yeah, that's probably going to go very, very good for them to be, now restructured as for a for-profit company that can do an IPO and yeah, they're kind of that first to market. It's like the Coca-Cola of AI. So that's cool for them, I guess. But that's the tech news. And for what's good with celebs, I'll close on this one. This is a new section I'm doing, so just a little like public interest bit. Like what's good with these celebrities. Like what's going on in the life of the other side. And so Amazon purchased the rights to do James Bond, and they have Denis Villeneuve, which I got my own gripes with this foo. He did the Dune movies, and he butchered them. So I'll maybe save that for grind my gears on a later episode. Maybe when like the third one comes out or whatever, because I assume he'll probably butcher that too. And Denis Villeneuve, if you do watch this, I got just two questions for you. Who do you think you are, and what gives you the right? Anyways, moving on. So he's directing the new Bond flick. It's new MGM Amazon Studios Bond movie. They're obviously restarting the franchise again with an all new Bond. And Jeff Bezos apparently wants Sydney Sweeney, who attended his wedding, and I think maybe they launched her into space. I'm not sure. I think she did go into space. Wants her to be one of the new Bond girls. And dude, imagine, Denis Villeneuve is like a real guy, like a real artist, like a real director. And if he wants to cast whoever he wants to cast, I'm sure more or less he will. But imagine this call where it's just Jeff Bezos just being like, yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah. Hey, Dennis, we got the new Bond. Like, guess what? We got the new Bond, and you're going to be the guy. And he's like, oh, like, thanks for this, opportunity I've always wanted to do, like Bond, like this will be a childhood, like, and he's like, yeah. Anyways, get the girl with the big tits. Like, who is the girl? Secretary, who is the girl with the big tits at my wedding? Like, who is the girl with the big tits we launch into space? And they're like, Sydney Sweeney? And he's like, yeah, give me that girl. Give me Sydney Sweeney. And he's like, okay, like, we can cast her in the movie. Like, she's typically, like, known for playing basically, like, teen characters at this point. And he's just like, I don't even care. Like, if anything, just make her like we have AI now. Like we can make her look older, and we can make her titties bigger. Like I just want the big titted girl for the Bond girl. And yeah, I assume that's probably just how Jeff Bezos runs like every part of his country or company. He's just like, yeah, shoot all these people, shoot whoever I say to space. Build me robots, fire you half of the company. I don't know. I'm gonna go party on a yacht now. And, this dude doesn't seem like he takes much of anything seriously. So I think that that could be good. I don't know. It could be. I'm excited, I guess. The new Superman movie sucked ass. I just saw that. Another just big blockbuster like Miss. So I don't know. I think, there's an Odysseus movie coming out by Christopher Nolan. That's coming out soon, maybe early next year, at the end of this year. I'm excited for that. That looks fire. It's like, obviously the story of Odysseus, the old Greek poem, and Christopher Nolan's, the director of Inception, Tenet, and the Batman movies. So, yeah, fingers crossed that's fire. Yeah, I guess that's it. It's like I said, hopefully I get this episode up for Halloween for you guys. Hopefully everybody has a very kinky and very freaky Halloween. Ludwig will be out in the streets of New York City. I'm hoping to find, somebody to maybe piss on me. Maybe I can piss on them a little bit. Maybe I can find, one thing I can tell you is I already know New York City is nothing like Berlin. I know I will not find any of the slip and slides like I'm used to. I'm looking for, at least something, maybe like a little foam or something, maybe like a little, like a balloon or like bubble party. We can all sort of get freaky and naked and all, jump into ball pit or something. These are the things I'm hoping that New York City has to offer. As like I said, so far,
most of everything I've seen in the country is quite, it's a little underwhelming. It's a little, it's not as kinky as I thought. It's not as fun and as freaky. I thought this was the land of the brave. The homos are free and the freaky, but it's been a little disappointing. So hopefully all of you have a very pleasant Halloween, and I will, see you out in the streets, and maybe if you see me, you can, spit in my mouth or something. Okay, hope you have a good night.